wife Sue your slides from back up there. Hello, Sue. And to me as well. Of the many wonderful programs offered by Rotary and the Rotary Foundation, Rotary Youth Exchange is, in my opinion, one of the most inspiring. The program affects not only the lives of the student and all of the people that he or she meets with during the year, but in most cases it creates a lifetime of both personal friendships and community goodwill. In his message to Rotarians just 2 months ago, this year's Rotary International President, Sakuji Tanaka from Japan, said, "Every young person who goes on a Rotary Youth Exchange will learn a great deal."
Yeah, that's true.
Youth Exchange students learn how people who seem so different are really the same. They begin to appreciate what unites people everywhere. They have a broader understanding of the world. They come back as different people. Mr. Tanaka went on to say, they no longer know only one language, only one culture. They have connections with their host country and with their fellow participants from other countries. At the end of their exchange, they are part of the Rotary family. They are part of their host families. The largest and most international family in the world, Rotary. Just like men and women around the world join Rotary for many different reasons, students apply for Rotary Youth Exchange with many goals and dreams. For some, it's a chance to learn an unfamiliar language in a way they could never do by taking a class or buying software. Others want to be an exchange student because they have a spirit of adventure and want the excitement of experiencing the unknown. There are even those who do it as a means of escape from a hometown, from parents, from a school. Whatever the reason, the experience of being a Rotary Youth Exchange student seldom turns out exactly as one would expect. The things you think might be the same, or at least similar, to what you're used to, are often completely unfamiliar. The things that you're worried will be different, the chores your host parents want you to do, what makes people laugh or cry, what others make fun of, are very likely the same as you're used to at home. Which means that if you're signing up for Youth Exchange to escape these things, you probably will still have to deal with them during your exchange, but in a new and very challenging environment. Now let's consider something that is very different around the world, the way people celebrate holidays. Christmas is celebrated many different ways around the world, and not at all in many places. Now, did you know that Argentines leave their clogs out for a visit from the Three Kings, while the Finnish visit the sauna? And Italian children wait until January 6th for their gifts to be delivered by an ugly witch named La Befana. Kwanzaa is a week-long celebration honoring African American culture. It was first celebrated in 1966 and is one of the fastest growing holidays. A Kwanzaa celebration often includes singing, drumming, and a selection of readings such as the African Pledge or parts of African history. Now, people around the world celebrate the arrival of the new year in a variety of ways too. In Mexico, it's considered good luck to wear colorful underwear as well. For those who are seeking luck in their love life, Mexicans suggest wearing red underwear at the stroke of midnight. Are you wearing your red underwear? If you're just seeking regular luck, or luck in all of your endeavors, Mexicans suggest yellow underwear. Now some Danes are from Denmark, celebrate New Year's by leaping off chairs at midnight, literally jumping into the new year. Jumping off furniture is believed to bring good luck in the year to come and chase away bad luck. In the Philippines, circles are invoked in clothes and food during New Year's celebrations. Circles are meant to represent the roundness of coins, wealth, and prosperity. People wear clothing with circular patterns and polka dots at the stroke of midnight to bring affluence into their lives in the year to come. Austrians dance waltzes to welcome the new year. And the Irish bang Christmas bread on the walls and the doors of the family house at midnight. The banging is said to frighten away bad spirits and bring good luck into the house. Now the foods that people eat and the way it's prepared varies widely from country to country. If you go to Brazil for your youth exchange year, you'll be eating feijoa, or black beans, farinha, which is similar to what we know in the US as flour, and arroz, or white rice. These three ingredients are typically cooked or served with protein such as fish, red meat, or poultry. The national dish of Brazil is called feijoada. It's a hearty meat stew made from pork and black beans. In Germany and many other European countries, delicious breads are found in the bakeries on every street corner. Russians enjoy borscht, which is a cold beet soup filled with meat and vegetables. Among the many dishes that are native to Mexico are guacamole, an avocado-based dip which originated in Mexico. Enchiladas, a corn or flour tortilla rolled around a cheese or meat fillet and covered with a spicy chili pepper sauce. And empanadas, meat-filled pastries. Throughout Asia, there's a wealth of different foods, including here in Taiwan. Whether it's a dim sum dumpling or snacks from the night markets, you won't go hungry anywhere around the world. One of the first things you notice when you get off the plane in another country is the way people are dressed. It's human nature to judge someone by how they look, but that's just another wonderful difference from culture to culture. While there's less of a difference in the clothing people wear on a daily basis, native dress still varies widely from one nation to another. Germans wear traditional lederhosen. In many parts of Africa, women wear kanga. And in India, the sari. You probably won't be wearing these clothes unless there's a very special occasion. Now, a Rotary Youth Exchange colleague of mine from the United States, Dr. Dennis White, has written a great deal on the subject of culture shock as it applies to youth exchange students. While culture shock is a natural experience for everyone who travels to a different place, it's particularly difficult for youth exchange students. For one thing, the trip abroad is frequently the first time the student has traveled internationally. And while most people find themselves in unfamiliar and unsettling situations as tourists, youth exchange students have to deal with the simultaneous challenges of being in a new and different place, alone, for a lengthy period of time. The four stages of culture shock will be very familiar to the inbound students that are here today. They are excitement and enthusiasm. This is the feeling of exhilaration that accompanies travel to a new place, seeing and doing many new and different things and meeting new people. Next, there is irritability. This occurs when the initial excitement wears off and real cultural differences become evident. No matter how understanding and accepting the student may try to be, there will be times when the negative feelings seem like they will not go away. Then there's adaptation. This is when students learn to accept that they need to adapt if they're going to be successful in their host culture, then work at adjusting to local customs and habits. And finally, biculturalism. Students in this final stage realize that they have become competent in another culture and can see the world and function from another very different point of view. Now that many of you inbounds are getting ready to return home, you may experience what Dr. White calls reverse culture shock. First of all, do you inbound students remember what you experienced when you first arrived in Taiwan last year? You wanted to go. You expected and looked forward to learning about different things. You were warned to expect culture shock. Though you may have been sad to leave family and friends, you knew it wouldn't be forever. You knew you were coming back home. Now that you are going to be returning home at the end of your exchange year, you may not want to go home. You may expect things to be just like they were when you left, or at least that things will be very familiar. You may not have been sufficiently warned about reverse culture shock, or you didn't think it would happen to you. You may be very sad to leave your family and friends here in Taiwan because you know there is a chance that you may never see them again. These are the feelings that affect almost all youth exchange students. They're normal, to be expected. For those of you who will soon leave for your exchange, you will likely experience some, if not all, of these feelings. Now, there are some things that you can do during your year in another country to help lessen the sense of culture shock. They will help you and also the people around you. Because it's important to remember that not only the people you meet may behave differently to you, you will behave differently to them. Victoria is an American student. She went to Italy for her exchange, and she wrote, "While I'm on my exchange, I have learned so much. Not only have I been able to expand my mindset and learn about another culture and world different from mine, being here also shows me that even though they do things different than we do in America, we are all the same. They take care of their kids and teach them all that they know so that when they grow up, they have everything they need to survive and teach their kids." There are several things that can influence how well you make the adjustment to living away from home and making a smooth return. When you first heard the news that your Rotary Youth Exchange application was accepted and you would be finally leaving for your big adventure, I bet you started asking yourself many questions. Perhaps you started thinking about all the new people you were going to meet. Then maybe you wondered what kind of host family you would live with. What would your new school be like? What exciting places would you discover while you're abroad? Thinking about all of these things is natural. We all do it when we plan for something that's different, that's outside of our normal, everyday routine. You did not make the choice to become a Rotary Youth Exchange student because you wanted the familiar, or to do the things you do every day here at home. You wanted to be a youth exchange student to do the unexpected, to see new and different things, and to let each day be filled with new, amazing surprises. When you embrace the unexpected, you open up your brain. You allow yourself to see things you never could have imagined before. It's the willingness to expose yourself to new experiences that will help you to adapt to your new surroundings. It's the absence of expectations that avoids being disappointed when things don't happen the way you thought they would happen. So how do you embrace the unexpected? How do you build relationships with people from a different culture, who seem so different from you, who do things that seem to be so different than the things you do? Well, first you can decide to be friends with them. Now that sounds obvious. If you want to get along with other people, it helps to be friends. But many exchange students are afraid to reach out to new friends. And it can sometimes be a challenge. The other students in school may not be friendly to you when you first arrive. That makes it even more important that you have decided to be friends with them. So how do you meet new friends? You can join a sports team or a club. If there are other exchange students at your school, you can be friends with them, but make sure you don't spend too much time only with those exchange students, because that may cause the other students who live there to leave you alone. And whatever you do, please avoid the temptation to use your computer and your phone to communicate with your friends at home. That'll make it much more difficult to make new friends in your new home. The next step in building new friendships is to be aware of your personal biases. We all have them, and they can be hard to put aside. But knowing that you have stereotypes about people is an important part of changing the way you think about them. Because those feelings usually come from not knowing enough about how other people live. Isn't learning more about other people a big reason you've decided